feel off, not like depressed off, but just off, not normal. I don't even know how to describe it. That's how I feel right now. I know you're like, you didn't even describe how you feel. How are we supposed to know how you feel? Exactly. I honestly think it's because last week my routine was completely off. With July 4th holiday, I took a day off that I normally wouldn't take off, and I had my normal amount of work, and then I took on this super big, probably the biggest project I've ever done, but I took it on last minute notice, so I had to work on that last week, and then I have to work on it this week, and just my whole schedule is jumbled. It's life. That's just, honestly, that's what it is. It's life. Just finished up doing some photography work with Epitome ATL. If you've been following the channel for a long time, essentially since it got started, you know Epitome ATL is a client I work with twice a week here in Atlanta. They're a sneaker boutique. I do all their photography. Anytime they need video, I do that. I do a lot of stuff for their website, for web, like promotional images, basically a lot of stuff. And I've worked with them for a few years now. They're a great client of mine. But one thing that I'm constantly being asked on this channel, in my DMs, in the comments, is how do I find a client like Epitome? How did you find Epitome? How do you get consistent photography clients? All that type of stuff. So today I'm going to tell y'all the story of how I started working with Epitome, how they found me, and how they became a consistent client for me over the last few years, because I think it's important for you to know how this stuff worked out, at least for me. But first, before we get into today's vlog, I got to thank the sponsor on today's video, Squarespace. Head over to squarespace.com/EvanRanft to start your free trial today, or use code EvanRanft to get 10% off your first purchase. So typically when you meet someone new and you explain what it is you do, whether that's photography, videography, art, being a musician, doesn't really matter. One of the first things they're gonna ask you is how can I get in contact with you? And the second thing they're gonna ask you is, do you have a website? And lucky for y'all, Squarespace does both of those things very well. So on my site, evanranft.com, which I built using Squarespace, by the way, one of the first things you see on the homepage is a button that says contact me. You can get in contact with me immediately through my website. I really like this because when I meet new potential clients, I just say, hey, go to my website, evanranft.com, and you can contact me there immediately. It's fast, it's easy, it's simple, and it's super easy for the potential client to do. Here's what's great. That contact me button, that was already built into the template that I chose for my site. All I did was repurpose it. Same thing with the shop page. That page was already built. All I had to do was change out the items in the store, and bang, now I can start selling my own merch. That is my favorite thing about Squarespace, is how easy it is to customize these templates and build your own site off basically something that's already there. And if you ever have any questions about how a template works or how to do something on your site, Squarespace's customer service is top notch. So head over to squarespace.com/EvanRanft to start that free trial today and use code EvanRanft to get 10% off your first purchase. Now, back to the vlog. So the story of how I got a consistent client goes back to 2015. Really, technically, it goes all the way back to when I first started taking photography seriously, but 2015 was really the key year in making all this stuff work out. And in 2015, this was the year where I really started kind of gaining a little bit of momentum on social media. Basically, my strategy for myself at the time was get my name in as many places and be known and seen by as many people as I possibly could. Just build a reputation for myself doing something cool. Earlier in 2014, I released a super small run of a self-published book, which I might do again. It was really fun to do. It was paperback. It was like a 5x5. I liked that project a lot. But in 2015, I released a second project called Atlanta Going Up 2. You know, we're doing these books like mixtapes was the idea. But Atlanta Going Up 2 focused on helicopter imagery of Atlanta, aerial photos like they had never been done before, in my opinion. I thought it had just never been tapped by Atlanta. I don't know why. No photographers really did cool aerial photos. So I did that, released the book. We did a few group galleries around it, and at that point, things really exploded. But really in like the late middle of 2015 is when everything kind of came to an apex, when people were really finding out about me. My name was really getting out there, and I got contacted by Epitome. So basically, they had a staff that they had worked with for a while. They had no photographer on staff, and the main guy they were working with, he went to another position, or he moved back home or something like that, and the owner was looking to build a whole new team. So have someone do photography, have someone do sales, have someone manage. He just wanted to start fresh. And really the key to me getting them as a client, and this is the thing I want you all to know, is based on me just getting my name out there. Before I had them as a client, before I was doing photography technically professionally, my main focus was getting my name in as many places as possible. So that meant doing free photo shoots, photographing photographing concerts, photographing musicians, just getting my name out there in any way, trying to use social media the best that I could, just networking. And then doing that led me to this situation that I have now that works out so well. And then you kind of trade that off by taking on a client like this, by taking on something like this YouTube channel. You're not really networking as much, but you don't really have to as much as you did back in the day. It's kind of like a weird thing, but that's how I got them as a client, was through just grinding, getting my name out there, and putting my face and my photos in places where they could be seen. Now, you can define that however you want. It's going to be different for everyone depending on where you live, what your situation is. It could be something as small as getting your name known amongst your peer group as, you know, someone who does photos, or being known at the coffee shop as the photography guy. It can be as big or as small as you want, but the key is just getting your name out there so when opportunities do come up, you're there for it. You're the name that someone mentions. And that's another key thing about this whole epitome thing. Another photographer mentioned me to the owner of the store. It's a guy I know named Mike. He was doing stuff with Hypebeast at the time. He was working with another store, and they asked him, who do you recommend? And he recommended me. So it's just one of those things, you know, get your name out there, network, and that is probably the way you're going to find a consistent client like I have. And one other thing to keep yourself having consistent clients is keep your work consistent. Put all your energy into the work you're making for this other person and work hard. That's the big thing. That's one thing that's been huge for me with a client like this, is it's constantly pushing me to get better. It's like sharpening a knife over and over for the last few years. When I first started here, my photography was terrible compared to what it is now. My editing was terrible compared to what it is now. And all the repetitions of shooting over and over and over have made me a much better photographer. But I wouldn't have gotten to that point if I didn't continue to push myself every time I came here to make photos. See what I'm saying? Do you get complacent? You're just going to get bored and you're just not going to want to work with that same client again. But if you're constantly motivating yourself and pushing yourself to get better, you can have a long-term situation similar to mine. And in the end, it makes you a better photographer also, because you're never settling on your work. And the stuff I do at Epitome has taught me so much about focusing on details, paying attention to the small stuff, paying attention to composition, color, how to make the world interesting when you don't have a lot of resources to work with. It's been a really valuable thing for me. So that's the story. That's what I recommend to y'all, and hopefully you can take that and apply it to your own situation a little bit. So that is it for me today, y'all. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button for more, and I hope you can take my story of how I got a consistent photography client over the last few years and apply it to your own situation. It's not going to be the exact same as me, but the key takeaway for today's video is before photography is actually your job, make it your job to put yourself in a position to meet all the right people and make your name known in the photography circles or photography genres or areas that you want to eventually get a job in. Thank you guys so much for watching. Y'all are the truth. I will catch you next time. I'm going to get out of here and clean this office because it is a disaster. I can't believe it's gotten this bad. I'm not even going to show y'all. It looks good behind me, but over there, nightmare. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thumbs up, subscribe. I'll see y'all next time.